Hey, what is up, guys? Josh back here again with you today for another one. And this one that I'm doing today, as you can tell, is another whiskey review. Again, a bourbon review specifically. And this bourbon here is one that I've heard an awful lot about by friends of mine who also like to try different whiskeys out. And they kept talking about this one a whole lot. They mentioned basically it's from the same, people that are distilling Pappy Van Winkle, which is it's apparently like a pretty damn good bourbon, but it's mostly just a lot of I don't know, something about like it's like there's like a lot of hype about it, but like it's kind of okay, but it's just the demand for it and it's kind of cult status or something has just driven it up to a point where people are paying like $2,500 a bottle for it. So I don't know. While this is not a $2,500 bottle of bourbon, the Weller bourbon is supposed to kind of be from the same stuff that they make the Pappy Van Winkle with. I think the only difference is different parts of the warehouse that they distill these in for different ages, and I think they might use some different wood types for the barrels and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. All I know is that like Weller is supposed to come from the same stuff, same exact mash bill, juice, all that Pappy Van Winkle is from. Anyway, that's why I've heard a lot about this Weller. With all that out of the way, so I was told to get it, try it because it's really good. And now apparently people are starting to know that this is from the same stuff that Pappy Van Winkle is made from, and so the price is starting to go up on it. This one that I have here, I had to get for I think it's $16. It's $16 before tax. After tax, it was like 18 something. And I had to call ahead to the store and tell them, yes, when you get more Weller in, I'd like to have it because they just order so little of it. So it's kind of hard to find where I am. Anyway, all that out of the way, I kind of want to just give a rundown on this particular whiskey because it's almost getting this Pappy Van Winkle stuff is almost kind of starting to get infamous. It is 90 proof, yeah, 45% alcohol by volume. This is their special reserve green label there. As you can see, they have an antique too, but I did not get that. I wanted to try this one first. As you can see, I've already had a little taste of it last night. So the notes it describes is it's a delicate bourbon with hints of caramel and honey. Yeah, so just hints of caramel and honey is what they mention as the flavor notes. It is actually a wheated bourbon, so in place of rye grain, they put wheat in instead, so it's wheat, corn, barley, I believe. So yeah, let's go ahead and go for the pour on this and get right to the nose on it. The color first, I should say, which is it's a fairly dark bourbon. It's kind of like a burnt sort of orange color. It's like it's a really just deep orange in color. Definitely a darker bourbon for sure. But I believe it's only 5. No. I think it's 6 or 8 years. Anyway, let's go ahead and go for the nose on it. And the nose isn't. The nose is very subtle. Definitely get maybe like a little bit of caramel, but it's just got a very just it's got a very just general spicy kind of smell aroma to it. Let's go ahead and go for the flavor now. Flavor is sharp, spicy, but not so much harsh. Um, it's not really harsh. It's more the spicy flavor. A lot of times you get some bourbons that are around this price range. I think this right now is $20 to $35 on average. Um, you get around that sort of price range, and some of those kind of bourbons can be harsh with the alcohol, especially the higher proof ones that are 90 proof. Uh, they're harsh just because of the amount of alcohol heat to them. This one's a little different. It's not really the bite from the alcohol. It's more of that spicy flavor that I'm getting. Um, so I couldn't really say that this is a smooth bourbon because it's got a good bit of bite to it in the throat. But it's a really good spicy kind of bite, more of like a flavor kind of characteristic to it, not so much harsh alcohol kind of characteristic. Um, Other than that, there's a good sort of caramel note. Um, there's a corn sweetness to it as well, and maybe a little bit of kind of like they mentioned honey on the bottle. I'm not sure if it's just me reading that before that's making me think of it, but I am getting sort of a kind of herbed kind of honey kind of flavor on the very back of the palate. But it has just the mouthfeel is just very it has a long lasting mouthfeel on it too. Long lasting mouthfeel, a really long finish, which is always really good in my opinion for a bourbon. Is it if it has a really nice long finish? I really like the I haven't finished it yet, but I still have the Eagle Rare that I did a review on recently, and that also had a really nice long finish. It was a lot smoother than Weller, but it had a nice long finish too, which was really kind of endearing about it, which makes me remember that I really enjoyed that one. Same kind of thing is happening with this one. Is it crazy complex or anything? No. Like I said, I'm just getting this overall very spicy hit from this bourbon on the palate. And there's a bit of caramel. There's a bit of sweet corn. Both flavors are nice. They work well. And then there is, for me, again, of kind of herb, sort of honey finish on it, which is really nice too. But it's not really complex. It's just kind of that's what's going on with it, and there's not really a whole lot more that I'm kind of finding with it. But for what it is doing, which is being simplistic, but being simplistic in about the best way as it can be. So that is what is really good about it. Um, for me, I would go ahead as a bourbon, especially budget bourbon like this. I would say it's a solid A. If it was really, really crazy complex and it sort of just knocked my socks off, and I was like, "Holy hell, $18 for like this like big of a whiskey," like I would go A plus. But since it is just staying simplistic and it is staying kind of straightforward, but I can respect it for that. So yeah, staying a solid A with it. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.